get to suffer as I go through them. Okay, let me start. Get ready. Kahoot. 2, 1. Question 1. For the Monero EAE attack, what do the letter E's stand for? Is it epidemic, exchange, elliptic curve, or environment? Of course, in all of these cases, you should select the best answer. On your phone, you just have the colors and icons, so you will need to look at the screen. There is about a 5-second delay, so get those answers in as quick as possible. I'm actually seeing more like a 6-second delay. You're almost out of time. Wow, okay, yeah. For the Monero EAE attack, the correct answer is the exchange. EAE typically refers to a single user, at least in the case of EAE, with just one letter A in the middle, where a user will take funds from one exchange and send it to another colluding exchange. It does not have to be an exchange, but however, that's what the general name comes from. The idea that you are KYC'd on 2 exchanges that would collude to potentially understand that the Monero originated from the original exchange and ended up at the second exchange entity. So exchange is the best answer there. Elliptic curve is a cryptography term, and all the fancy schmancy people chose that one, but I think that, the EAE does not refer to cryptography. It just refers to a limitation in targeted surveillance in Monero. If you are interested in learning more, there is a Breaking Monero episode on EAE, or the poisoned output attack. A lot of these attacks are very similar. They're all derived from the same type of idea where you are engaging with colluding entities, so you should be a little bit careful there. And yes, as Need Money 90 says, please like and subscribe. This is a typical shill channel. Let me insert an ad break here. Just kidding, we're not affiliated. I even turned off the setting where users on this channel, I don't think people see ads. I'm not getting any money from Google, but even if they did, they would not also see personalized ads. I am getting less money than I already am not getting, so you're welcome. Any case, let's see who scored well in these. Knack answered the fastest, so they are on the top of the leaderboard. They have 909 points. So congratulations, Knack. Censored got that correct. JW got it correct. JTBV, which is really hard for me to say because these letters are way too similar and too similar sounding. But 4 on the top leaderboard. Scott, for some reason, is still on the leaderboard. Scott, how did you not get that one? Come on, Scott, you should have known. Scott, I'm disappointed in you. All right. Also note you get extra points, not just for answering quickly and correctly, but by answering several correct in a row. So you got to get these long correct answers in a row here. Vic clearly is not as good at trivia as he is at making memes. So Vic, I'm watching out for you. You better get a few of these in. Scott is now banned from Defcon. Honestly, yes. Scott, come on, Scott. All right, question 2. Maybe you'll do better on this one. What does Monero most closely mean in Esperanto? Money, cash, coin, or private? Roasted, yeah. The whole point of this is basically just a Justin free-for-all roasting people. Ultimately, the entire motivation I have behind this. And no one else is in Jitsi with me to complain. All right, we got a nice split here. So I was playing the long con here, actually, for a few reasons. One, I gave this same question during the Monero-versary, at least if I have good memory. I guess you can check me on that. But most people got it wrong then, so I reused the same question now. And I also released a movie called Monero Means Money, and it does not actually translate to money. It does instead translate to coin in Esperanto. That is when Monero first launched. It did not launch as the name Monero. It launched as the name Monero. So translated, basically was meant to mean Bitcoin. Just Esperanto for some reason. Esperanto, of course, is the world's most spoken constructed language. It is not one that was just spoken by people for a long time. It's a relatively recent language, and it's meant to be one that everyone could use as a neutral constructed language. but coin is the best answer here. So let's see who got this one correct. Looks like someone else said that they got wrecked. XX, sorry, XXXX. But first place, still Knack, got that one correct. Censored, Need Money 90 still on there. JW killing it. Scott got that one correct, and they moved up from their undeserved 5th place to 4th place. And then JTBV on the board now. Looks like they did not get that one correct, though, because they got the previous one correct. So really, Scott was the one who answered that one correctly. All right, let's see how people do in the next question here. Question 3, what does the C in CLSAG stand for? Is it circular, compact, concise, or cooperative? People who were on for the MRL hour, office hours earlier, hopefully know the answer to this one. I always like watching these because, all right, I just want to point out that for my quiz so far, the majority of people have answered incorrectly in every single one of these. So clearly I'm doing something right. But in no cases has no one got it incorrect. Actually, this, if you chose compact, you shouldn't feel too bad, because originally in MRL they wanted to call it compact, but they got some pushback. They got a lot of saying, well, it's not compact technically, because compact technically is supposed to have these guidelines if you're following other papers, yada, 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 yada. And you're right, in a general use term, no one actually cares. But cryptographers are a bunch of picky bunch, and therefore they decided to name it concise, because it best met the other cryptography definitions. Concise is what it actually is called. So it's not cooperative, it's not circular. I did throw that one in there in case someone thought it would be related to the circular ring, but in fact, ring signatures are not actually the form of a circle. They don't store actual pictures of blockchains in here. Yeah, you're right. Knack probably got this one correct. If Knack did not get this one correct, I think we can make fun of him more than anyone else that doesn't get these correct. What? Doug, that defied your expectations there. I would have bet money. Maybe they went to the bathroom or something and weren't looking at the screen at the time, or misclicked as a result of you allegedly misclicking, Doug. But Andres got that one correct, Meow got that one correct, and Rotten Quincus got that one correct too. So, JW Censored next still remain at the top though, but Scott was punched off the leaderboard, and yet Knack is a researcher, so maybe they would know. All right, so this is pretty fun. It's still anyone's game at this point. Of course, remember the last question alone is worth 2,000 points, so you never know. Question 4. In its entire history, how many Monero transactions have hit the sender, receiver, and amount? Is it about 6,500, 65,000, 650,000, or 6,500,000? What is the closest answer here? Not all Monero transactions in all of history, just ones that have hit the sender, receiver, and amount. Noting that in the past, when Monero first launched, up until Ring CT was a thing, Monero did not hide the transaction amount because it was just denominated, and pretty poorly, honestly. I don't know if everyone got the question, got things in time there. Make sure you are keeping track of the timer on the left, and note that there is at least a 5-second delay. So get those answers in as quick as you can. Yes, the answer is 6.5 million, which again, the majority of people did not get correct. Maybe they just saw the highest number and were like, nah, it can't be true. But yes, almost, at least as of last month, it was over 6.2 million. So yeah, about 6.5 million transactions in Monero have hit the sender, receiver, and amount. These are all Ring CT transactions. So that is pretty cool. Wow, Monero saying they have at least 2 million transactions alone. Well, if you did in fact have 2 million transactions alone, that would not bode especially well for traceability with low ring sizes. With 11 we're probably fine, but I would be pretty suspicious. That's pretty much attack level there. Maybe certain mining pools collectively have those, but that would be even ridiculous. Oh, let's see what other comments are coming in. Anyone who synced the blockchain on the terminal will know how slow the later blocks are to sync. Yeah, that's mostly a ring CT thing, but luckily CLSAG will definitely speed that up for future transactions going forward. And even so, bulletproofs are much faster to verify. Serang did this really awesome thing where he was just looking at code and was like, wow, I found a way to make all bulletproof transactions much faster to verify, even retroactively, by just being more efficient, because people just pull these optimizations out of nowhere when you're a genius like they are. Obviously, I'm not a genius. I just make quizzes for people and get them wrong half the time. So yes, 6.5 million is the correct answer. If you were watching some of my talks, in the past, one of which is on this channel, I did reference over 6 million transactions. So that's where I got the inspiration for this question. Yeah, but it should be efficient. We're doing our damn best to make sure it's as efficient as possible. Oh, JW got that one correct. Nat got that one incorrect. Oof. I don't think Doug got this one correct either. Need Money 90 censored. Totally not the same set of people. JW, I mean, I know that your life is basically just knowing crypto trivia. It's basically your full-time job. You don't need to convince me otherwise. I know. But on today's, you got the last 3 correct. So look at you. You're killing it, too. So still anybody's game rule here, really. We have a ton of questions left. Basically, yes, it basically is. Do not deny it. Question 5. Not how. What proportion of the total XMR supply do the top 100 holders have combined? 10%, 25%, 50%, or Monero says no? Okay, that's the freebie. I have to throw these in here a bit. What's the best answer here? Not how. See, I'm making mistakes all the time. It should be which. Come on, get those answers in. Who's trailing? Get it in. And if you're watching now and want to join in this, I mean, I was going to call it fun, but I was instead should call it just rant/chaos. You can join going to kahoot.it, game pin 354661. People are doing so poorly that you can probably still beat a lot of them. Monero says no is the best answer here. You know what? Need Money 90, that is not verifiable. So I'm going to call BS on that one. And I'm going to think that Monero says no is still probably the best answer here. This is just basically my low-effort shill here, just to give people some chance of getting on the leaderboard, and one person apparently threw that one away anyway. So a lot of people getting free points here, thank goodness. BitConnect is the highest climber, making their way at 5 places. That means they're going to explode over the next few rounds and then die when I'm not getting anything correct. So there's that going for it. Yeah, he's from the top of the leaderboard, though. Still only like 3, within 3 questions. It's already last for 2,000 points. So let's see what the next question is. Question 6. What is the name of Monero's current mining algorithm? Is it Random X? Okay, hopefully I'm back. I don't know what happened there, but luckily no one got it correct, so we're fine. We're fine. Damn NSA, screw you. Okay, it should be screen share. I'm gonna give it a second to make sure it updates. Okay, so we had a question that came in. It was, what was the name of Monero's current mining algorithm? One person guessed by just clicking a random button, and they did not get it correct. I genuinely don't know what happened. My internet just totally dropped out. I think the stream was out too. So very odd stuff. Gotta love Comcast. I had to switch to Comcast after I moved. So gotta love that. I know a lot of people probably would have gotten this one correct, but no one did. So it did break everyone's streaks, I guess. So if you did have a streak, perhaps Andreas, you're most negatively impacted that one. Yeah, see, Vic, the reason it crashed was actually because I knew you would get it right, and I just couldn't let you. So It's the real reason. Sorry about that, everybody. Luckily, that doesn't change the scoreboard at all. You know, it resets your streaks, but I guess that's more fair anyway. But I'm just glad that one random person didn't select the first option. We have to decentralize Kahoot. Yes, I need to have a Kahoot satellite, satellite internet connection, and we all need to be connected to each other, of course. Otherwise, we're just going to have to be dealing with this BS that's going on. Again, I don't know what happened to my internet connection there, but good thing it happened to me now while playing Kahoot instead of when it actually mattered, when someone else's talk was on. Okay, looks like we're back to normal, though. I'm going to move on to the next question, 7. We're halfway through. On what day will the next Monero network upgrade occur? October 1st, October 17th, October 31st, or November 1st? People getting their responses in pretty quickly. That's good. Remember, there is a stream delay. Okay, October 17th is the correct answer. It is not 31st, it's not the 1st, it's not the 1st of November either, or October, whatever. That was a tough one, Wownero. Yeah, you need to pay attention to what's going on in the Monero community sometimes, not just Wownero. We're fun sometimes too, hopefully. We aspire to be fun sometimes. How about that? Congratulations on guessing correctly. Redacted made its way up 6 places. You know, they're trying to eventually compete with Censored. JW is still in first place, but Censored moved up. They're beating NAC right now. So just because you're a smart researcher does not mean you waste all your time on Reddit all the time, apparently. Maybe they're not all the same. I've got a message. It's probably someone complaining. Oh, NAC was answering how to answer trivia. So it looks like they figured it out, hopefully. Or else maybe they just been randomly guessing. No, someone said they misclicked. That was NAC. RIP. Well, you'll have to fight your way back up to the top here. Okay, next question. Which of the following was implemented in Monero most recently? Dandelion++, Ring CT, Pruning, or LMDB? I think you will notice that one of these future questions absolutely gives a little bit of extra advantage to others, to a certain user compared to others. But I'll leave it to figure out who it is. Most people got this one correct. Cool. Ring CT is definitely not the right answer. That was implemented in very early 2017. Pruning is more recent than Ring CT, but Dandelion is the most recent. That was implemented earlier this year with the actually. It was a network upgrade in the sense that there was a major release, but it actually was not a required network upgrade. It was Monero's first major release that did not require a network upgrade. So that's pretty exciting history for everyone there. Pretty cool stuff. Monero is stabilizing as an ecosystem. So yeah. All right, let's see. Most people got that one correct. Looks like no one on the top leaderboard did not get that one correct or answer slower than someone who was not there. So we'll have to take this leaderboard into the next round. JW is still on top. Question 9. In July, NAC proposed a radical idea, their words. It proposed doing what? Separating Coinbase and non-Coinbase ring signatures, binning decoy outputs by block, preventing the spend of all pre-ring CT outputs, or tagging outputs with a sub-address hash. Now, granted, I will admit I did not know NAC would play this game, but it may. Some people who want to point fingers might try and claim that I'm biased towards helping them out. I don't know where they're getting that from. I don't think that's a fair assessment. But yes, the correct answer is tagging outputs with a sub-address hash. This is meant to be the hardest question of the quiz. Nice even split there, but no one thought that they would bin decoy outputs by block, which I'm a little surprised because that's something people have proposed at certain times. Maybe people acknowledge that is not a potentially radical idea. It's one that's been proposed a few times. In fact, in many external research papers in Monero, they do talk about binning, which basically says when you choose a decoy, choose it in relation to your actual spend in a way to, conceivably choose decoys under certain scenarios. But yes, this is purposely meant to be a tough one. Tagging outputs with a sub-address hash is the actual answer. Again, this is a very controversial idea. It will not necessarily be implemented. There's a bunch of potential advantages and disadvantages. So this one will go through a ton of discussion before anyone even moves on it. So this may have changed up the leaderboard. Let's see how people, how much people are paying attention in MRL meetings. Of course, JW got that one correct. In fact, it did not change the leaderboard at all. And of course, Knack got that one correct. You're welcome for the free points, Knack, to get you in closer striking distance of Censored and Andres. But people further down must have gotten that one correct, which means, Meow especially is at higher risk of being overrun. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, someone's sending me questions on Defcon, but it's not relevant to trivia, and that's all I care about at the moment. So, JW also has a streak of the last 3 in a row. Let's see what the next question is. Question 10. What was the original name for the Monero community work group? Was it the marketing work group, the outreach work group, the developer work group, or the website work group? Keeping in mind that the person who started this initiative was not me, I cannot take credit for this, it was Diego. Okay, at least half the people got this one correct. It was originally the marketing work group. The outreach work group is the name for a later formed and currently existing work group that took off up a bunch of the initial ambitions of it took up a lot of the initial ambitions of the marketing work group. Now, at the time when this work group was started, the idea of marketing in Monero in general was very controversial. A lot of people hated the idea of talking about Monero in anything other than like an academic or developer sense, because they felt that anything else would diminish Monero compared to all the other shit coins, so-called, or scams that were out there, perhaps. And so, the marketing workgroup initiative at the time was very controversial. And so we made very clear that the main focus was education to begin with, but even so, a lot of people did not like it. And after we started, it wasn't that we didn't want, we purposely wanted to drop these initiatives. That was not the case. But we felt that there wasn't a group that actually just brought people together and talked about stuff as a community. And so we renamed the community work group in order to best fit what we actually do. And then later down the line, the outreach work group came up and took the torch for some of those initial ambitions. Definitely was not the developer work group. Website work group, I threw that in there just because someone may have known that Diego joined the community based off their desire to improve the website to begin with. And as Andres says in chat, the Monero Enterprise Alliance Working Group, the Monero Enterprise Alliance was not a thing until, early 2017, it must have been. Yeah, it was during Consensus Consensus 2018. Sorry, it was Consensus 2018, so early 2018. You could argue, there was an initial working group. It was some investment-focused Monero work group that charged dues and things. That was really the first of its type, but they dissolved very early on, and certainly did not ever call themselves the marketing or Monero community work group. So definitely very unrelated. Okay, let's see who got this one correct. Let's see if the top leaderboard changes. It does quite a bit. Knack is on fire. Looks like JW got that one incorrect. So Andres is within striking distance. So is within Knack. They're all within one question of each other. And then within second place, within striking distance on one question, you have Censored and JTBV. So definitely fun competition going on here. And not too many questions left either. Question 11. What year did Monero first have a Defcon village? Because, of course, this is the Monero Defcon village. Is it 2017, 2018, 2019, or 2020? Note that I am not interpreting this strictly. I am not saying that, it was the Monero and the Because village. No, I am counting Monero in that. I'm not saying Monero Soul village. So hopefully someone was not trying to be like, ew, well, actually this. Nope. I am being honest here. 2018 is the correct answer here, yes. In 2017, it was very unofficial. There was not an official Monero Defcon village. In fact, you just had a number of individuals who are interested in Monero that attended Defcon because, as you can imagine, well, if you answered before the caveat, 2019 would have been your choice. Wow, Monero, so no. No, you could not. 2019, it was the Monero village. 2020 was the Monero village. 2018, it was the Monero/BCOS village, which is the blockchain. I actually don't remember what it stands for. Yeah, it's on me for not remembering what it stands for. 2017, a lot of Monero Monero community members were at DEF CON. I was not one of them because I was not in that hemisphere, but it prompted people to be like, hey, wish we could have a Monero village. And at the time, DEF CON seemed very uninterested in having a cryptocurrency village. But in 2017, for that latter half, it exploded, of course. And Monero had a very large representation at DEF CON, and therefore were able to make this wonderful thing that we have right now out of it. So that's really cool. So let's see what 5 people got that one correct. Cake is the highest climber. You made your way up 3 places, so you're doing something right there. Censored moved their way up into 3rd place. They must have answered quicker than Knack. Remember, you do get extra points by answering quicker. So if you know the answer, get that in as soon as possible. Otherwise, you are giving up 3 points, and you don't want to lose. So, but certainly still anyone's game to see who will win this. Question 12. Which of the following was never a Monero minimum or mandatory ring size? Was it 3, 5, 8, or 11? Okay. Majority of people got this incorrect, but the most chosen answer was the correct one. Yes, it is 8. For some reason, the Monero community is allergic to even numbers. We only choose odd numbers, and we only choose prime numbers. The minimum / mandatory ring sizes have only ever been 3, 5, 7, and 11. It's just the way it works out. So, you may argue that 0 was the initial one, was the original minimum ring size. Actually, no, 1. 1, actually. 0 doesn't make any sense. It would have been 1. So, unless you're talking about Coinbase outputs, and then they're treated kind of technically differently, and then if you want to get all super, super technical about it, but really, the best answer here is 8, which 6 people got correct. It was good while it lasted. Oh, Andres, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I have to say 8 was one of the numbers I recommended when we learned about the possible impact of chain split attacks in Monero when, splitting coins is a really popular way to pump and dump something. I recommended a move to ring size 7 or 8. And we ultimately chose 7 for the additional efficiency, and also because we have a rule of prime numbers allegedly. But when Monero goes to triptych or Arcturus, we might not actually go with the prime number. We might go with like 128, which is divisible by 2, and of course other numbers. So we may be shortly dropping this, depending on how quickly certain improvements are made in the Monero protocol. We may no longer be able to say this. But in any case, Andre still stays in 1st place. Scott makes her way to 5th. So that's pretty cool. So yeah. Is it a ring if it is just 1? It's more like a point. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if you can actually really call a transaction with only 1 input a ring, really. It's like a very sad ring. JW is still on top here, but you have to remember, And Cake has the longest streak with 3 in a row, so they might be making their way up. They're going to get the most bonus points if they get the next one correct for the longest streak. But the next question is worth twice as many points. It is the last question. Winner takes all. You all best be prepared. Be ready. Be ready to click that button once you know the right answer. I don't know if it'll be easy or hard. I mean, I do know, but I'm just going to make it stressful as a result because it's fun for me to draw this out. But let's see what it is. Last question for all of the bragging rights. What is it? True or false? Double points. Monero offers ubiquitous privacy. True or false? True on the left, false on the right. What is it? For double points. Someone answers one way, I'm just gonna like, you deserve not to get these points, I guess. Just for all intents and purposes, mandatory. Used in all transactions. Oh, goodness. Maybe I chose a word that... Oof. Vic read it wrong. We actually... This is actually the reading comprehension quiz. Oh, wow. Okay, well, apparently this is more of a trick question than I thought. Ubiquitous means like common or, implemented widely or, every transaction would have this type of privacy. It's meant to say that every transaction has privacy. I actually like you calling it ubiquitous rather than mandatory because, Monero has mandatory network privacy, but you can still opt out. So I usually try to refer to it as ubiquitous because it's, every transaction has this feature. Breaking Monero. I'm going to break down this community by just using apparently fancy words here. But it is... True is the correct answer. Apparently, I'm an English teacher that just likes to annoy people. Google Trends for ubiquitous spikes. Yeah, the like 14 people that participated in this game are gonna set off the ubiquitous. Yeah, that's funny. All right. Well, we get to see who finishes in the podium here, which apparently ended up just being an English test. Let's see who finishes on the podium. In third place with 8 out of 13 correct, Knack. Second place, also 8 out of 13, but with more points. Definitely not Need Money 90. And in first place with 9 out of 13, Andres. So, wow, JW must not have gotten it correct. They were a runner-up. Wow, after all that time, on the top of the podium, they didn't know a word. So darn, wow. Wow, it really did shake things up there at the end, more than I was expecting. Y'all are gonna be so angry with me as a result of this. Oh, goodness. That is hilarious. That was a lot of fun. Okay, yeah. So Andres, you offered some great advice during the meme competition, and you, as a result of helping us out then, you deserve first place. Everyone's saying I have a trick question. Ironically, the intent of the last question was actually to get one that everyone would get correct, so they would feel good about themselves. But I think here it just gives people to rant, I am utterly shocked that JW did not finish in the top 3. That is awesome. Well, now you learned a word. How about that? Well, the whole point of this is to have fun. We've actually increased the number of people that have watched the stream as we've continued, at least on YouTube. So thank you everyone for participating. Please, please, please tell everyone that you had fun with Monero, because you gotta define your prize and wow. Okay, I see. Persistent. I don't know, persistent. What if you have, quantum computing that comes out? It might not be permanently persistent if you want to be all technical about it. So, or what if all of the ring members that you participate in just happen to all disclose information, and then do you really have persistent privacy? So, I don't know. I think ubiquitous is a better term. Maybe standardized is a different word. Pervasive I think is a good way to put it. I'll think about using pervasive, but you better all know for next time. In any case, thank you everyone for participating. This was a ton of fun for me. You all made it really fun. Thank you so much for yelling at me, commenting, the whole it is a blast. DEF CON is fun when it's fun for everybody. So, well, widespread. What if someone that doesn't imply 100%, Andres? I have to really point out that everybody does it, which maybe ubiquitous doesn't either. But in any case, I had a ton of fun. Thank you everyone for joining. It was great. I will see you in tomorrow, hopefully starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. Be there or be square. So yeah, bye everybody.